This homestand has been everything Bo Mel and the boys had hoped for. Friday, Tampa Bay came to town as they are battling for the top wildcard spot, and the Athletics did the unthinkable as they had a clean 3-game sweep of Joe Madden and the Rays. Next up was Texas, two of the best in the division going toe-to-toe, and the green and gold came out on top as they snagged 2 of 3 from the Rangers. Tonight, it's the Astros at the HOU as they open up a 4-game set. Sonny Gray will look to continue the winning trend that is happening in the East Bay. It's Game 1, A's-Astros, next. Well, the 10-game homestand continues tonight for the Athletics at the Coliseum. It's the first of 4 with the Houston Astros in town. Stephen Vogt will be behind the plate. He's going to catch Sonny Gray. So there's your battery mates tonight for the A's. And again, first of 4, it's the A's and it's the Astros. A's have a chance to take over first place all by themselves. You'll see tonight's game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fossey, I'm Glenn Kuiper. A's are playing great baseball, and they're doing it at the right time with September upon us. And Ray, what they're starting to do is hit home runs. It was a huge part of the A's success last year. Not so much early on this year, but now it's starting up.
Perfect time to start hitting the long ball. And boy, yesterday 4 against the Texas Rangers, and it was outstanding. First inning, fastball from Darvish and Brandon Moss, 26th home run. He continues to swing a hot bat. Probably the biggest was the one hit by Derek Barton. Only his second of the season. Curveball from Darvish. That put the A's ahead 5-2. But how about this guy, Josh Donaldson? One swing of the bat, 20 home runs, 80 runs batted in with that one swing. And Coco Crisp, how could you forget him? 18 home runs now, a season and career best 4. Not a bad job for a leadoff hitter to hit that many home runs. As a leadoff hitter, can also steal bases, but Coco's doing a great job.
Sonny Gray is going to remember the Houston Astros. He got his first Major League win against them on the 15th of August, so they know how good this young man is.
Shut him out for 8 innings. He has been outstanding. He's pitching like a veteran, and I think he did it against the Astros in the 8 innings he pitched. He threw a lot of pitches in the game, 4 hits in the 8 innings. He left, picked up his first Major League victory. Probably could have gone 9 just on adrenaline, but it came out after 8 innings. But I think, Cap, the one thing about him, he's pitching like he's been in the big leagues for 10 years. That's what you want to see from a young pitcher down the stretch.
So not quite as much scoreboard watching tonight. The Rangers have the night off. They're in Anaheim. They'll start a series against the Angels tomorrow night. So no Rangers tonight. It's the A's and it's the Astros coming up, the first of 4 from the Coliseum. Lineups at first pitch when we come back.
Pasadena, California, is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Go big at a participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos for only $3.99 plus tax.
Yoenis Cespedes getting the fellas ready for game one of this 4-game series between the Athletics and the Astros. So, the Gold Tops tonight. Oh, great. Like it's game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. 69 degrees on a nice, cool night with a little breeze at the ballpark. So the A's have yet to take the field. Lineup cards have been exchanged. But Sonny Gray now says, I'm ready, folks. Yeah, let's get this baby going. So,
he knows all about the Astros. He faced them, picked up his first Major League win. And they'd like to see the offense continue doing what they've done on this homestand and leading into the homestand.
So the A's are ready, and so are the Houston Astros. And here is their lineup for tonight. The young shortstop, switch hitter Jonathan Villar is going to lead it off. Altuve hits second. Trevor Crowe is in left field. He'll hit third. Brett Wallace in the cleanup spot. Wallace playing third base. Chris Carter at first. Mark Krause, the DH. Brandon Barnes in center. LJ Hose come over in the Bud Norris trade. He'll be in right field. And Matt Pagnazzi is the catcher. So there's your Houston Astros lineup.
And it will be Sonny Gray trying to beat the Astros for the second time. He did a phenomenal job against them in the afternoon game here, picking up his first Major League win. But Sonny Gray, as we've talked about, as he makes his sixth start, had a couple of appearances out of the bullpen, get his feet wet, but he's pitched extremely well for a youngster. And in a pennant race, couldn't ask for a better performance when he takes the mound.
Defensively for the Athletics, Cespedes, Chris, Moss in the outfield. Donaldson, Lowry, Sogard, Barton on the infield with Vogt doing the catching. So the Astros coming in with a 46-93 record. But the last time they were here, it was not that long ago, they took 2 out of 3 from the A's. So Bo Porter, after losing 10 of the first 11 to the Athletics, won 2 out of 3 here. And this is the last 4 games of the season between these two teams. So the throw goes down to second base, and we're ready to roll. So the Rangers will not play tonight. They are enjoying an off day in Anaheim, getting set to play the Angels this weekend. So there will be a half-game swing in the standings, depending on the outcome of the A's game here tonight.
And I would say Ron Washington and the boys are just, let me just take it easy. I'll see the results of this game maybe tomorrow morning's paper or tonight. The highlights, but still a lot of baseball remaining in from the Athletics, and they know it starts tonight against these Astros. The next 23 games. Only 3 against the Rangers, a team that has a plus +500 record.
Ball's hit hard, but right at Sogard. So Jonathan Villar is retired on a couple of pitches. So that's out number 1 tonight. So 80-59 for the Athletics and the Rangers. So this is game number 140. 22 left after tonight for the Athletics. 10 at home, 12 on the road. There you go. So here's Jose Altuve, and he takes a fastball for a strike down around the knees.
You know, the first ball hit by Villar hit to Sogard, which is good news, but hit hard. And so that, when you're a ground ball pitcher, you hope it's going to be in the vicinity of your infield. Villar has tremendous speed, as we saw in Houston.
That one up the middle. Sogard dives. He can't get it. And Altuve has base hit. Excuse me, Ray.
Just very simply that 4 pitches, fastballs thrown by this right-hander, 93 miles per hour, but that's a fastball belt high right over the pitcher's mound. And once Sonny Gray fell off towards first base, it was going to be a base hit. Sogard, great effort, but no chance to get to the ball.
So Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. And here's Trevor Crow. First pitch to Crow is a strike down around the knees.
I have to tell Chris Young that Robbie Grossman is injured. He may not be able to play. He's the one that robbed Chris Young of a home run playing left field. Crow is playing left now for Bo Porter. There's Chris Young, who against this club had a chance for a couple, but instead a couple of walk-offs, a couple of outs.
Well, the Astros, you mentioned Grossman being out. They're also playing without Castro, the catcher, and Matt Dominguez, the third baseman, both just a little dinged up. They not quite sure whether they will play in this series, but Castro's got 3 home runs against the A's this year. Dominguez has 4 home runs. So that's 2 of their better offensive players that I'm not sure whether they're going to play in this series. Castro's got a little knee issue.
And he missed all of 2011 with the knee surgery. They got him. Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
So Altuve gets picked off, and that is out number 2.
Well, it's a quick move. And Derek Barton on the bag, and Altuve, of course, a threat to steal, and maybe a little bit really didn't react that quickly. And Derek Barton applied the very quick tag on a perfect throw from Sonny Gray. And that's Alan Porter at first base ringing him up. That's a great play. Never got to the bag, trying with his left hand, but Derek Barton, Exmo and fast speed, got him either way. And that's a great man to get off the bag.
And that one is dropped into right center field for a base hit by Trevor Crow. He's going to try for 2. Moss's throw is not in time, and Crow has a hustle double. So if you're the Astros, you figure that's going to happen when the guy gets picked off, especially a speedy guy. So Crow has his 3rd double, and here's Brett Wallace.
Hanging curveball first thrown by Sonny Gray, and it was right there as Crow just planted the foot ideally, and probably Gray was trying to do is bounce the curveball. Has a good 12-6, and once Brandon Moss had to take a little bit diverted angle to get to the ball, that allowed Crow to get to second.
So Brett Wallace hits, sitting in that cleanup spot. He's playing third base tonight.
Yeah.
I've seen Wallace strictly at first base. 228, 12 homers, 31 RBIs. The breaking ball, and it drops low, 2-0. Astros have lost 7 out of their last 9. And this is the start of a 7-game trip. They will go from here to Seattle. Play the Mariners Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it's a stretch of 20 games in 20 days for the Astros. Is that the limit, Ray?
Yeah.
The collective bargaining agreement? It's 20 days is the most you can play consecutively.
It's the walk-off yesterday. And into the left center field gap at Minute Maid Park, and that was against the Twins before heading here to the Coliseum, the Bay Area. You can see the excitement of the Astros in a walk-off fashion. That was their 46th win.
Good swing by Wallace, fouled it back, and he was swinging on 3-0.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that Bo Porter is probably trying to find out from his hitters. And first base open, Chris Carter, the power right-hander in the on-deck circle. And you always think, well, if they're going to pitch him carefully with first base open and gets a fastball 3-0, let him swing. I don't think he was pitching carefully. I just think the first 3 pitches missed and gave him a fastball down the middle.
And the 3-1 pitch is a fastball that's low, and Wallace walks. So the pickoff becomes a little bit larger as this inning goes on.
Number 23, Chris Carter.
So Carter will hit. Big power numbers for Chris Carter this year. 27 homers and 73 RBIs. The batting average low, and he leads the American League in strikeouts with 184. So you get what you get, right?
Absolutely, and a fastball inside, if he gets it, that's when he can do some serious damage.
And he lines it to left, and that's a base hit. Trevor Crow rounding third. Cespedes' throw is just a bit late and offline. And the Astros take a 1-0 lead as Carter gets an RBI single.
Did not fool Chris Carter on a hanging curveball. First pitch curveball, another curveball that was hung in the middle of the plate. Same that Crow hit for a 2-strike. Against A.J. Griffin, the similar, well, a slower curveball was hit by Chris Carter up the middle for a base hit in the first series here, but that's just what Chris Carter does.
Interesting.
In first pitches.
So he does it a lot, and when he does it, he's successful.
Sonny Gray has to figure out a way to get his curveball down, because we have seen him when he has pitched the curveball, a very sharp breaking curveball that starts usually about thigh high, ends up down around the ankle tops. We have not seen that in the curveball tonight.
This is Mark Krause, and it's 2-0 to Krause. That was his last start, which was against the Rays, and that was Saturday. And he was good.
Kept everything down.
Yeah.
Fastball, curveball, both pitches down. Krause, a power hitter. Was up, was sent back down, came back. Of course, with Krause DHing, Chris Carter is playing at first, his natural position. That in the outfield, of course, for big Chris Carter.
Good pitch right there in the outside corner. So 2-1 with Wallace at second, Carter at first, and a run in for the Astros here in the first. Another fastball to the outside corner. And again, it's a strike. So now the count 2-2.
Perfectly thrown outside corner. In hindsight, the fastball outside of Chris Carter, because the pitch was into him, and if he strikes out, he opens up a lot. Unfortunately for the A's, he got a curveball inner half of the plate.
And a swinging strikeout. So Gray strikes out Krause to end the inning, but a run on 3 hits for the Astros. Here come the A's in the bottom of the first. Bob Melvin's Athletics. Chris, Donaldson, Lowry, Moss, Cespedes, Smith, Barton, Sogard, and Vogt.
Third start for Brad Peacock against his former team, the Athletics. Of course, traded to Houston prior to the season, as part of spring training. Peacock, good fastball. Had always been highly thought of in the A's organization, but in order to get Jed Lowry, he was one of the big pieces that the Astros received. So Peacock 3-5 on the season. A couple of starts early in April against the Athletics. I think Coco can lead off the game with a home run like he did in Houston.
Well, he seems to get on base pretty regularly lately, and the home run has been part of it. But you're right, he put on a show in Houston at the beginning of the season. He's got 4 home runs and 10 RBIs against the Astros this year, and he's 17 for 44. Fastball on the inside corner, and it's 0-2.
Peacock has not pitched that poorly against the Athletics. That's the bullpen. And that's the first game. Dan Straley was his opposite number. It's a game that Straley struck out at 11 against the Astros before Bartolo Colon stepped back in rotation.
Yeah, Peacock started the season as the number 4 starter for the Astros. And he's been up and down to the minor leagues a couple times. This was April 5th, and this was the first start of the season for Peacock.
And curveball, home run. Before Coco got a haircut. This Coco's stretch of home runs in 4 consecutive games that carried into Anaheim. There's so much video available that Peacock could watch video of him pitching against the Athletics, and I'm sure remembers the hanging curveball that Coco hit back in early April. So a pitch that if he's going to throw, which he just did, he wants to try to bury it in the ground, threw it out of the strike zone, and Coco took for a ball.
And that one bounced over the mound, and Altuve slides to his right. Quick throw to first, and Coco's retired for out number 1. Let's look at the rest of the Astros defense. Crow, Barnes, Hose in the outfield. Wallace, VR, Altuve, Carter on the infield, and Matt Pagnazzi is the catcher.
Pagnazzi picked up because Corcoran had a concussion, the catcher. Right. And then you mentioned with Castro, from Castro Valley, but missed all of the 2011 season. They had a cyst on his knee that got a foul ball. So a little bit tough to catch. Might see him as a DH. But Pagnazzi was picked up and to help out the catching court. I understand Corcoran is on his rehab assignment. May be here before the end of the series.
Corcoran's had a couple big hits against the A's.
Yes, he has. Some real big hits. And in fact, he won one game with a ball to left center. Right. That extra innings that Altuve hit. I think that was against Doolittle. Back-to-back batters against Doolittle in extra innings. What Pagnazzi's doing is looking up at Donaldson to see if he's peeking back, looking for a sign or location. Great hitting on a hanging curveball to right field.
Phil Donaldson rips a single to right, and that's the first hit for the A's, and here comes Lowry.
Donaldson, as we saw yesterday, got a slider inside that he pulled down the line for his 20th home run. Curveball here, aggressive, leg up, foot down, and hammered it hard to right field.
45th hit to right field by Donaldson. So Lowry hitting .288, steps in. You know, Ray, we talked about with a couple of younger hitters on other teams about hitters who kind of wrap that bat a little bit, and they have trouble getting that bat head through. Donaldson wraps it too, but he gets it through.
And by the time he is ready to start, the bat kind of straightens up, straight up, and then through the hitting zone. So it's a matter of when you wrap early. If you have that kind of wrapping ability, but
sure.
If you wrap it, you get it through the zone as quickly as possible.
So
but
it's okay to do it,
yeah,
but some guys maybe do it a little bit too late.
Yes, it's a matter of the load, and when he lifts the leg, it starts the motion, But all of that is anticipation of the ball coming. And Shelly Davis, of course, likes for every hitter to have some sort of a loading mechanism, because the ball gets on hitters so quickly. If you don't load, you don't get ready, you're not going to be able to hit it. And I think a lot of times that's when you see a lot of pop-ups, fly balls that are not driven. Guys wait, and by the time they do swing, it's just an uppercut that they get under the ball. And instead of, I think Donaldson, kind of look at Bautista of the Toronto Blue Jays, lifts the leg and he's attacking, ready to go, but disciplined enough to take pitches if they're not in the strike zone.
So 0-2 to Lowry. And there's that breaking ball. He's got a good sharp breaking ball. I mean, watch Peacock pitch and you can tell why. The A's liked him when he was in their system for a year, and Astros like him a lot. It's just he's got to kind of pull it all together, but he's got a good arm and he's got good stuff.
I think we've seen the progression of the Astros as a team become better as the season has progressed. And that's all the Astros want to do, because they know they're trying to develop young pitchers, young players in general, but trying to find a nucleus of a team that they can build with. And Peacock is probably one of them. Unfortunately for Max Stassi, he was involved in that trade. He no more came to the big leagues, got hit in the head, faced with a pitched ball. So he's under the same as Corcoran with the concussion syndrome. Symptoms, that is. Chris Carter's not a big talker.
No.
Yeah, he's quiet, Chris. If Brandon Moss is over there, Moss would be bouncing words off Chris Carter's chest, because of just, Chris is just that calm and lets the big bat do the job, which we've already seen tonight.
Just missed, and the count is 2-2. Chris Carter strikes me as maybe more of a listener.
Yeah, you're right.
Kind of an agreeable soul.
Say hello to him, shake his hand, give a little smile. Now, this is kind of a one-way conversation. It's all Donaldson. Chris is just listening. You just listen. That's a good call. Just a good listener.
Lowry smokes one foul.
When Chris Carter first came to the big leagues, if you take a look at the umpires, and crew chief Greg Gibson, he will be behind the plate. All four will get an opportunity to get behind the plate before this 4-game series is over.
So another 2-2. Donaldson short lead at first. And this one's lifted to shallow center. Barnes come racing in, and he's going to get there. And he throws it back to first. Donaldson is able to get back, so Brandon Barnes makes the catch.
And there's your good curveball you mentioned about Peacock. Barnes plays relatively shallow, and still had a long run to come in to get it.
Right fielder, number 37, Brandon Moss.
Infielders looking into the dugout, just up the yard to find out where he's going to play, and they're starting to all move over and move around. Remember the Astros, and we have seen it, they will utilize the shift a lot.
Looks like they're trying to get in contact with their outfielders. First pitch to Moss in the dirt, blocked nicely by Pagnazzi.
And you'd rather see that of a catcher having to block the good curveball, which is thrown hard. Pagnazzi does a very good job of blocking the ball, and you'd rather see the curveball down there versus up in the zone, where a couple have been thrown by Sonny Gray already tonight.
Remember Mike Pagnazzi, catcher for the Cardinals?
That's right.
That's his nephew.
It's not a common name,
No.
so it's in both catchers. So
think Pagnozzi had to retire relatively early. The fight that occurred, the Reds and the Cardinals behind home plate or something.
I remember that.
I think he, I want to say something happened to cause an injury that forced early retirement.
Good fastball there, and the count is 1-2. That one had good movement and good velocity. Where's the movement here?
Well, again, inside, and the movement taken at the outside part of the plate. And Brandon Moss hits one to Hose. It's over his head. It's a home run.
Yeah, Hose is playing extremely deep in right field.
He wants to see what the scores are on the out-of-town scoreboard. It's so deep. That is, he's out there, folks. There he is. That's deep. He will not have very far to go with the ball that's hit over his head.
High fastball, and Moss strikes out. So a hit and a runner left for the Athletics in the bottom of the first. We're headed to the second. 1-0 Astros.
Coliseum, this popular post-game event is highlighted by A's players sharing their testimonials as well as a performance by Donnie Moore and the Radical Reality team. For more information and tickets, go to OaklandAthletics.com. For/Faith, you must purchase a special ticket for this event to participate in the post-game festivities. And might remind you, it's not tomorrow. This is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. It will be Saturday following the day game here at Oak Coliseum. But Faith and Family Day, Donnie Moore, the Radical Reality team. It will be a nice event, and hope a lot of you come out Saturday following the day game.
Astros with a 1-0 lead, and it's Brandon Barnes to lead it off. He'll be followed by Hose and Pagnozzi. Brandon Barnes at the beginning of the year was kind of a platoon player, but seems like he's getting a chance to play quite a bit more.
Bo Porter, not Alan Porter, who's the umpire. Bo Porter, the manager, was adamant during batting practice as Barnes standing there, and he said, if this man does not win a Gold Glove, they should throw the award away. I mean, he's that good of a center fielder.
We've seen it.
Yep. Grant Green has seen it, trying to get his first major league hit. And Barnes, good friend of his, robbed him.
3 pitches, Barnes strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the second inning.
Boat wanted it down. It stayed up, and fortunately, Sonny Gray got away with a hanging curveball. Barnes just did not make contact. But an outstanding center fielder that can play, and you have to realize that sometimes it's a defensive award based on offense.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's voted by the managers and coaches, but Barnes is very good, as is the A's coach Chris.
L.J. Hose steps in. Hose came over in the trade from the Orioles for Bud Norris. 252 with a homer and 5 RBIs. And what we noticed about Hope, we saw him earlier, right? He doesn't necessarily have a lot of power, but he's got a pretty good right field stroke. That was sort of the scouting report on him. And this time he lines one to left field. So he says, forget that right field stroke. I'm going to single to left field. So that is 4 hits now off of Sonny Gray, and that was loud.
That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball inside and very loud, and almost had some movement like a cut fastball. Rich is not the good 93, 94 fastball we normally see from Sonny Gray. Location wasn't that great, and so essentially what we've seen, Crow with a 2-strike base hit, actually double, and a hanging curveball, and now this 2-strike single. Chris Carter's was a first pitch curveball and hit for RBI single.
Here's Pagnazzi. Pagnazzi has just joined the Astros. He was acquired from the Braves on Tuesday.
You run out of catchers, you start looking. It's true. That's what happened. Even though the Astros are a little bit different position in the standings than the A's are, who had Derek Norris with a broken big toe on his left foot, had to go on the disabled list. Don't have catchers, you got to find somebody, and they were able to find Pagnazzi. There are 2 of the right-handed hitting catchers. Derek Norris back in the active roster tonight. And Kurt Suzuki, of course, coming from, and they were traded for each other. As a matter of fact, the Nationals, Kurt Suzuki, and he's back.
That one rolled up the middle, and Lowry makes the play, but everybody's going to be safe, and there looked like may have been a little confusion between middle infielders. But it goes as a hit.
You know, and I think Sogard was going to the bag for a forced possible double play, and whenever he went to the bag, it looked like Lowry thought he being Sogard, was going to catch the ball. Should have been an out, but
now batting, number 6.
A little miscommunication. Watch Sogard, looks like he goes towards second, and at that point I think it just looked like that Lowry thought Sogard was going to make the play. I don't think Sogard could have made the play considering the time that he got to the bag.
So 2 on, 1 out, and now the top of the order in VR. VR grounded out to Sogard, leading off the ball game, and he takes a fastball down around the knees for a strike. Just the 34th game that VR has played in. In fact, when the A's were in Houston, he made his major league debut. Checks his swing, and they do check with Hunter Wendelstedt. He says no swing.
It looked like he kind of looped the bat just watching in real speed.
Close.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think Vogt or Rippinger actually asked for an appeal, and Hunter Wendelstedt just gave him one. You don't have to ask me, I'll tell you anyway.
I'll let you know. Outfield shaded a little bit toward right field. Cespedes shallow and left. Fouled straight back. VR has just 3 RBIs on the year.
VR was actually removed from a game whenever he tried to stretch a single into a double, and the club was down by 3 runs. And Bo Porter said, I think it's time you sit down and put him in the lineup the next day. And, you know, something that Bo, as a first-year manager with a young team, trying to kind of show a little discipline and showing them the correct way to play. And usually the best way, the great, like Dick Williams said, the best way to handle players is to sit them down beside you on the bench. They want to play badly, they'll do what you ask them to do.
Strike three called, and VR can't believe it. Thought it was low.
I bet there's a lot of people can't believe it.
Ooh.
It's over the plate. That's not a problem. It's almost down the middle. But the question was the height. And chalk that up to thank you.
So strikeout number 3 for Gray. And here's Jose Altuve. Altuve had a base hit to center field. Then he was picked off. Tough out, and we've seen that from Jose Altuve this year.
Yes. Once at second down in Houston, I think I remember, had a big play. Tying run at second, got picked off. Dangerous hitter though in this spot because there is a runner in scoring position. He seems to find a way to make contact. Altuve does.
Sharp breaking ball. He watches it, and it's 2-0. So Hose and Pagnazzi with back-to-back one-out singles. And now 2 outs here in the second inning. Altuve has 9 hits in his last 19 at-bats. So big guy for Sonny Gray to get. And that's a base hit to left field. Here comes Hose, and it kicks away from Cespedes. And Pagnazzi's going to round third, and he's going to try to score, and he will score. The ball rolled all the way over toward the bullpen. And 2-run score, and it's 3-0 Astros. So Altuve with a big hit. So he'll get 1 RBI.
And there's no way Cespedes was going to throw out the runner. Fastball down the middle again, mislocation by Sonny Gray. But with the jump, the runner got off second. Hose, he was not going to be thrown out. And Cespedes looked up as he was approaching the ball. And instead of just catching, almost conceding the 1 run and keeping the other from scoring. But you know, it's really right now all about Sonny Gray and the mislocation, his fastball. His hanging curveballs and his fastball is kind of in the middle of the plate. Not what we have seen, whether it's on the corners or down. Just the exact opposite of his last start, in which he kept everything down.
So it goes as a single RBI, E7. So really a couple defensive mistakes in this inning by the Athletics. Pagnazzi ball probably should have been an out. And here's Trevor Crow. Altuve at second. And a little cross up, and we'll have a meeting. It was called a strike. And you're probably fortunate to get a strike called on a cross up because it's hard for the catcher to catch it the way he's supposed to.
Well, you're fortunate the catcher didn't get hurt. That's the biggest thing because he's looking fastball, and oops, there's the curveball. Nice reaction by Stephen Vogt to be able to handle it.
Crow doubled and scored in the first inning. And that curveball is hit toward Lowry, who scoops it up. And the throw to first in time. Side retired. 2 runs on 3 hits. There was an error, so we played an inning and a half here at the Coliseum. 3-0 Astros. brought to you by GoPro, the world's most versatile camera. GoPro, be a hero. 3-0. The Astros lead the A's, bottom of the second inning. So a little bit of a shaky start so far for the A's. Astros get 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Here's Cespedes to lead it off. And a fastball down around the knees for a strike. Cespedes, Smith, and Barton. Couple games that we're going to keep an eye on. One of them just started. The Rays and the Angels just underway down in Anaheim. Price and Williams is your pitching matchup there. And a curveball and kind of a funky swing by Cespedes.
I would venture to say that David Price getting to the park today didn't pay $200 to get there with
not if they stay at the same hotel we do at Anaheim. It's about a mile away at the most.
No bridges to try to
no. He's gonna be okay.
He maybe got there too early today. Didn't happen here when he pitched against the A's. A very expensive car ride from the hotel to the Coliseum.
Two and 2 to Cespedes. 21 homers, 62 RBIs. Good fastball, and Cespedes swings and misses. Second strikeout for Peacock, and that's 1 out.
Really right down the middle. Location wise, it was advantageous for the hitter to make contact, but Cespedes could not.
So here's Smith, the DH tonight. Smith hitting .243 with 7 home runs and 34 runs batted in. The Orioles won 3-1 over the White Sox in Baltimore. So the Orioles, one of those teams that's chasing in the wild card. The Orioles get their 74th win. And they're now 3.5 behind the Rays. The Rays are the second wild card team right now. Oh, 0-2 to Smith. Fastball runs inside. And you see the Rays, the second wild card team. Yankees 2.5 back. Indians 3.5. Orioles with the win now 3.5. The Royals, they won earlier today, so they're now 5 back. The Yankees are playing right now, and they're winning 8-7 in the 9th inning. A little bit more to the story there, though, than just what the score is going to the 9th inning. I'll tell you that in a minute. Curveball, strike 3 called. There's the outside corner, so backdoor breaking ball, and that's strikeout number 3.
Perfectly thrown. 2-2 fastball thrown by Yoenis Cespedes, and a 2-2 curveball that Seth Smith just watched and hoped it would not be called a strike, but right down the middle.
So here's Barton. So that game between the Yankees and the Red Sox had a 7-2 lead going to the 7th inning. And the Yankees scored 6 times in the bottom of the 7th to take an 8-7 lead. And they're still holding that lead.
And that's unusual. Red
Sox
Sox
Yankee Stadium
have a commanding lead in the division, but the way the Red Sox have played all season, that is unusual.
Barton rips one to center. Barnes is back, and he's got just enough room, and he makes the catch. Side retired. 3 up, 3 down inning for Brad Peacock. 3rd inning coming up, 3-0 Astros. Parker got the win. It was his 11th win of the season, and it extended his unbeaten streak to 18 starts. I love saying this, Ray. Last time Parker lost a game was May 22nd. I've said it about 100 times.
Against the Rangers.
But that is impressive. 6 innings yesterday, 5 strikeouts, 87 pitches.
And he pitched only 6 innings because the A's scored 6 in the 6th. That was still a 3-2 game when he finished the top of the 6th. The A's scored 6, and very quickly Brett Anderson got loose, came in and saved the second game with the 3-inning finish of the game. But as they say, Kyle, that was then, this is now, and the A's are trailing 3-0.
It'll be Wallace, Carter, and Krause here in the top of the 3rd inning. 6 hits already for the Astros. 1 hit for the A's, and the A's made a costly error. Slowly hit right side. Barton picks it up, and that's out number 1. So Wallace is retired after walking his first at bat, and here's Chris Carter.
Right.
Now batting, number 23.
Greg Barton got another bad hop as he approached the ball, and something has already happened since he has been with the club. A ball down the line that has changed direction a couple of times.
Carter had an RBI single in the 1st inning. Interesting note on Chris Carter, Ray. A lot of talk about. He's got 27 home runs. You know, his ballpark is pretty good place to hit if you're a right-handed power hitter. But Chris Carter has had more success on the road. Not this time, though, as he takes a fastball on the outside corner, strike 3 call.
Fastball in, fastball elevated, fastball outside corner, and this one slight tailing action as he took it and right on the corner for strike 3.
Mark Krause.
So good pitch by Gray to get his 4th strikeout. So Mark Krause hits with 2 outs. Fastball inside. Krause hits it hard. Barton scoops it up, steps on the bag, and Sonny Gray has a 7-pitch, 3-up, 3-down inning as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Casino Matrix, San Jose's newest entertainment destination, and it's open 24/7. Visit today and see for yourself at Casino Matrix. We've had some beautiful shots the last couple days of the new Bay Bridge. And it's time for Nerd Power as Sogard steps in and he takes a first pitch strike. Sogard 265 with a couple of home runs. 31 runs batted in. Ken Korak's going to slide over and join us next inning. Talk about a book that he wrote on Bill King. So we'll visit with Ken for a while. Holy Toledo, lessons from Bill King, Renaissance man of the mic. There it is.
Get your free copy, huh?
Oh, yeah. So interesting to hear about the book. Sharp breaking ball, and Sogard able to check his swing and hold up.
That is a great holdup, because that is a hard curve, and for a hitter to be able to stop his swing as it's approaching, that's how quickly the hitter recognizes the pitch is going to be out of the strike zone, especially a curve thrown that hard.
That fastball not close. 3-2 to Sogard with Vogt to follow, and then Crisp here in the bottom of the third. Payoff pitch. High fastball. Hit foul left side.
Sogard swung at that one like he figured he's going to get a fastball 3-2, which probably should be the correct thinking considering Peacock has a 3-0 lead. Sogard leading off the third, but the old saying, too close to take for fear of it being called a strike.
And wow. There is a 3-2 breaking ball, and it's a good one. And that is the fourth strikeout for Peacock.
Video game that puts you in the owner's suite is now available free on iPhone and iPad. Build your stadium and make the decisions to guide your team to the World Series. Download MLB Ballpark Empire free today. Data and usage rates may apply. That's MLB Ballpark Empire. It's free today. So if Brad Peacock throws a 3-2 curveball and throws it for a strike, even though it was a swing and miss, that's one heck of a curve.
Yeah, that was a good pitch. I can't imagine you're thinking about him throwing that.
No, absolutely not. And that's why Sogard swung at the first 3-2, which was a fastball.
Vogt lines one towards center. Barnes is over, and he's got it. Vogt hit it hard. So that's 2 outs, and that'll bring up Coco Crisp. Well, that game in New York just got a little bit more crazy, Ray. The Yankees had an 8-7 lead. Mariano Rivera comes in. He gets the first 2 outs at the top of the ninth. Napoli singles. Quentin Berry pinch runs for him. Steals second. Drew RBI single, and the game is tied. 8-8. So Rivera was 1 out away, and he couldn't finish it off. So the Yankees batting in the bottom of the ninth tied 8-8 with the Red Sox. So a wild one in the Bronx.
Mo might have more blown saves this season than any of his previous seasons.
We got 5? Yeah. I'm guessing, but I know it's something like that.
He had 3 consecutively.
Yeah,
he had never done his whole career. He did it this year. Maybe it's just a swan song, and it's his final season. He is retiring.
Coco rips one down the right field line, and it is fair. One hops the wall, and Coco's going to ease into second with a double. That breaks a stretch of 7 consecutive ace hitters retired by Peacock, so the double comes with 2 outs.
Coco's so fast on a fastball in. He's so quick pulling the hands in, and like to have got a little more elevation. Might as well get greedy and look for number 19, but the ball sure hopped the wall. And Hose did not have far to go get it, even with Coco hitting.
So an opportunity for Donaldson with 2 outs to not get a run and get the A's on the board. Donaldson had a line drive base hit to right field in the first inning. And he hits this one to left. Playable for Crow. Side retired. Crisp stranded at second base. We're on to the 4th. Astros 3, the A's nothing.
Swung on, there's a high drive, hit way back, right center field. That one is gone, and it's 20 consecutive victories for the Oakland Athletics on an unbelievable night.
Now we know that voice, the late, great Bill King, and our partner,
Hi, Glenn.
one of our partners, Ken Corrick, joins us.
How are you?
You know him as a radio play-by-play man. We know him as an author. The book by Ken
Let's not
Corrick.
get carried away.
Let's get some
It might be
runs.
one and done with this book.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's all right.
it's been a lot of fun, though. Thank you, Glenn.
Holy Toledo, Lessons from Bill King, Renaissance Man of the Mic. That is the name of the book, and I know you spent a lot of time. And take us from the beginning. When did you start thinking about, hey, this is something I'd like to do?
Well, you know, it's one of those things where I kind of thought a project of writing a book would be a fun thing to consider at some point. And Steve Ketman, who's the publisher of the book, he has an enterprise that he started called Wellstone Books. And he approached me late in the season last year and thought, you know, maybe it might not be a bad idea to think about writing a book about Bill King that would be kind of a shorter book as part of what he was going to call a mentor series. But then as I got into the project a little bit deeper, and you guys can vouch for this because Foss was really a huge part of the book with the interview that we did during the spring. Bill he touched so many lives in the Bay Area that
No, you're fine.
You want me to call the play?
No, you can talk. It's TV.
Oh, that's
TV.
I don't have to say that Donaldson charged from third and threw to first.
No, you have a face for TV. You can
we
just
know
keep
that.
talking.
Yeah, that's why I'm over
you're
there.
On the air. That's.
But anyway, the story of the book is that because there are so many people who were touched by Bill King, as you guys know, and the story of Bill. Really, his story is woven into the history of the Bay Area in sports because of the fact that he did all three sports, as you guys know, the Raiders, the Warriors, and the A's. A man of such incredible diversity. So I just felt it was a wonderful story. And so if you're going to write a book, I think you have to have a passion for the subject. And obviously, not just myself, so many people in the Bay Area, even those who don't know Bill, but kind of felt like they knew him because of all the broadcasts. People just have a kind of a passion for the subject.
How many did you break down as far as the number of people you talked to from various sports? Because you mentioned that the football, the Raiders, the Warriors, and the Athletics that they worked for.
I lost track of the number of interviews, Foss, but I think it was around 55 or 60. And then, of course, Bill had this incredible range as a person and all the diversity. So there's a chapter on his painting. I don't think that a lot of people know that Bill was a magnificent painter. In fact, there's a painting of Bill's that pretty much makes up the back cover of the book. Beautiful scene from Sausalito looking across the bay over to San Francisco. You know, he had a lot of different habits and things that were very interesting, and there's an entire chapter, Ray, as you can imagine, on his eating.
Oh, I was going to say.
I mean, who would do a chapter on somebody's eating habits? But that was Bill King.
Well, that's a great chapter because he'd always bring food that nobody wanted because he didn't have to share.
Keep it for himself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and of course, cars. He never liked to buy a car that was any newer than 15 years. You know, it had to be an old one. But
that's right.
But you know, he was great.
Ken, can you stay another half inning? This was a quick one. We want to talk more about the book. So
you have to be back by the 5th because you have to work.
We'll be back.
Pitch taken. He's going to have it. He does. Ricky Henderson, no contest, steals third base, jerks the bag from its moorings, and holds it aloft, representing number 939.
Another wonderful call from the late, great Bill King. And Kent, there's a great story about that play.
Well, Foss can tell the story better than me because Foss was in the booth with Lon and Bill that day.
It was Lon's call, and Lon, simply the gracious man that he was and still is, said, Bill, you're in the Hall of Fame in football, basketball, here's your chance for baseball. And he took over the mic, and you know, everybody knew Ricky was going to steal. Once he asked for the sunglasses, it was time. It was time for him to steal.
You had the sense, and so did Lon, that when Ricky got to second base, that he wasn't done. He was going to try to steal third.
Exactly.
And it was Lon's inning of play-by-play.
Exactly. And he and simply said that. And Bill made the call that everybody hears, and he said thank you and turned the mic back over to Lon.
Pretty amazing. And there's a chapter in the book on Bill and Lon and that partnership that began in 1981.
It's not a bad pair to sit between, Ray, by the way.
About 5 years osmosis. Just
no wonder you turned into a good broadcaster.
No, they were great. And as it turned out, they didn't want to do interviews pre or post game because it broadcast so long that when they were hired by the A's, they said, we'll do it, but no pre or post. And that's why when Hank was hired and Candido, then I ultimately got the job. But Ken, as far as your time that you spent with him, I mean, what stands out as the best? I mean, you've written a great book. that we will see. But as far as the time that you spent with him, what stands out as kind of the most kind of the important thing that you learned from him, or at least got from him in the time with it?
You know, beside all the great calls, and you were there for so many of them, and you were next to Bill for the home run, Hatterberg's home run, the 20th game, and Giambi is the man, and all those wonderful calls. I just think the way he treated me. I mean, I'd grown up listening to Bill. I had listened to Bill literally for 30 years, and then I was paired with him. So how many people get that opportunity to really, like so many people around here, you idolize a guy and then you're in the booth with him. And I just thought his endorsement of me, because it could have been a tough situation replacing Lon, who was such an iconic figure, and another person that I had tremendous respect for. And you know, the way Bill welcomed me into the booth as an iconic figure himself, and how do you repay somebody for that?
So Moss swings at a pitch in the dirt. So Ken, this weekend you're going to be signing books here at the Coliseum. So if you're coming out to the game, stop by and see Ken.
Yeah,
6 to 6:30 tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday from noon to 12:30.
Yeah,
the book is Holy Toledo: Lessons from Bill King. And, it's great. It's going to be fun to read. And he said, I didn't know Bill like you guys did, but he was very nice to me as well. And I had just started here, and you know, I was, as always, when you're new, you walk on eggshells a little bit. But he, just listening to him tell stories, that was worth it. I remember, Ray, you and I going to dinner with him in Detroit, and it was my first year with the A's. I didn't want to say anything because I wanted to listen to him tell stories.
Sure,
it didn't have to, football stories, NBA stories. Is there better than his NBA stories? I mean, those are the best stories of all, probably.
Some of the best times with Bill were the dinners with Bill. You know, going out to dinner with him, because everybody that went out with him, and there are people in the TV truck right now. I know Tommy Adza and people who traveled with Bill for many years, and you'd go out with him and you would just be enthralled.
Yep.
He started with the Warriors in 1962, the Raiders in '66. Get your big butt off the field. I know it's like
that's my
your favorite call of all time.
And you wrote a whole chapter about it.
Well, that's the title of the chapter, and so yeah, you have to talk about
get your big butt out of here.
It's not just an A's book; it's a book that talks about his time with the Raiders, and obviously with the Warriors and the '75 Warrior, the great championship team in '75, and a lot of those people, Al Attles and Madden and so many, Rick Barry, were just so gracious and you know, willing to share their time and their memories of Bill.
I think the thing that stands out to me about Bill, his love for umpires and referees.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit about that. There's there is one entire story. There's one story that we don't have to get into too much detail, but there's a chapter titled Mother's Day. And people who know Bill and know the story kind of know what we're talking about.
That's true.
December 6, 1968 in
usually
Seattle.
It's in May, but this time for Bill it's in December, right? Now, a brilliant man, and that's one thing. And I remember working with Wayne Walker, was in the booth, and Bill and Wayne worked together. And I think Bill was going to be doing a football game, and I was going to sit in, Wayne, whatever. But anyway, Bill started talking, and Wayne simply looked over at me. And I looked at him, and he shook his head and said, I have no idea what he just said. Right. And Bill was a brilliant man. I mean, very articulate, but I mean, everything he said came from him. He didn't read it. It just came out. And just an absolutely brilliant man.
What did he tell you, Foss? He said, if you learn one word every day.
Word every day. That's right. I'm still way behind several years back, but I'm still trying.
But he had a profound influence on you, didn't he, Ray?
Well, absolutely. And you know, Kite talks about wanting to listen. I know when Bill started the game, I didn't want to talk, you know, because Bill had his routine, and it was simply just sit there. Oh, you want me to speak? Yes, sir, I will. You know, but no, just brilliant. And like Kite said, to be able to sit between Bill and Lon for the years that they worked, it was just tremendous.
1-2 to Seth Smith. Talking about Holy Toledo, the lessons from Bill King, written by Ken Cora.
We're all sitting here hoping for a base hit, aren't we?
But I remember the first flight I took with the A's. Bill was sitting across from me. And
barefoot?
Yeah, at some point he got there. But I just happened to be right next to him, and it was my first year, and I was watching him prepare. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I am so off here watching him.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I know enough, but then you watch him and you didn't know anything.
Yeah. He never compromised his preparation for all the other stuff he did. Thank you, guys.
Nice job. The book is, again, Holy Toledo, Lessons from Bill King, Renaissance Man of the Mic. Get out and read it. It's awesome by Ken Coy. Thanks, Kenny.
Thank you, Chuck.
Watch every out-of-market game live on more than 350 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.tv today. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Brad Peacock's making this baseball game look easy.
Well, he is so far. You're right.
Well.
VR tries to poke a bunt, maybe thinking over the head of Donaldson. And that did not work as he fouls it. So VR, Altuve, and Crow here in the top of the 5th inning, 3-0 Astros.
Sonny Gray would like to go back in the first 2 innings as do-overs and have the last 2 innings as possible, because the last 2, and now that makes 6 ground ball outs in the last 2 1/3 innings. With the strikeout to Carter, but the first 2, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. But his location on his pitch is much better. Last 2 innings, 7 innings or 7 pitches in the 3rd, 7 in the 4th. He's thrown now 52. So it's pitch count for both pitchers very good. This hitter, happy to have him coming up without a runner on base, especially in scoring position.
2 for 2. Knocked in a run with a single in the 2nd inning. He hit the ball that kicked away from Cespedes. Altuve now hitting .277 with his 2 hits today. Angels lead the Rays 3-0. Colin Cowgill with a bases loaded double. Donaldson throws in time. Altuve's out. Well, did you miss the latest edition of All A's, or you just want to watch it again? Be sure to log on to csncalifornia.com for all your favorite segments, which are available on demand right now. We hit the diamond with Josh Reddick as he shows Ahmed Fareed the finer points of the outfield. csncalifornia.com, your interactive home for authentic Bay Area sports. So 9 in a row retired by Sonny Gray as Trevor Crow takes inside. Crow a double and a ground out so far. Over the mound, and that one is going to get through into center field for a base hit. A seeing eye single, as we like to call it. So Wallace will hit with 2 outs.
Now batting, number 29.
Sonny Gray a couple times tonight where the ball, of course, that too high. Looked like he was ready to field a position a little bit better, but too high over his head. It'd been nice if that's an out. That would have been 3 consecutive innings, 7-pitch innings. But for the second time, Crow reaches base.
Runner goes. The throw to second base is not quite in time. Crow just got in there.
First pitch, first move, and Stephen Vogt very quickly out from behind the plate. You can hear everybody yelling go, but the throw to the shortstop side of second, just enough maybe. There's a throw a little high and a little bit late. Crow, a very good jump, and with his speed made it easy.
And Wallace hits one deep down the left field line, but foul. A very late slide by Crow.
Yeah.
Well, this is how you get hurt. Look how late he slid.
And those bags don't move, as we have been talking about. They're very hard. There's a peg running down on the ground, and you hit the bag. You see how his foot popped over the bag, and that's why Jed Lowry applied the tag just in case he overslid second. You slide that late, it's very hard to stay on the bag.
Breaking ball, and Wallace takes low. So 2-1 the count with Crow at second. Wallace a walk and a ground out. And that one drops in for a strike. Good breaking ball there from Sonny Gray.
Look at both pitchers tonight with an outstanding 12-6 curveball. Both throwing very hard, and now Sonny Gray is getting a nice break downward and keeping the ball down.
2-2 the count. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt, and Vogt takes Wallace. Side retired, so a hit and a runner left, and we're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-0 Astros. Astros players to hit 30 home runs in a season, and it was in 2007. If you think you know the answer, tweet us at CSN Athletics. So think about the 2007 Astros. Remember they went to the World Series in 2005.
Right.
Had some good offensive players back then. Barton, Sogard, and Vogt against Brad Peacock, who has been very good through 4 innings. He's got 6 strikeouts. He has not walked anybody, and he's allowed 3 hits. And that's one of the few changeups we've seen tonight, and it catches the outside corner.
Might be the first big curveball, and mix in a changeup down in the bottom third of the batting order, second time through.
And Barton skies one to shallow center. Barnes trots in. And Barnes has it for out number 1. So Barton has hit a pair of fly balls to center field.
To be honest, I thought the first one he hit, second inning,
sounded good, didn't it?
Sounded great, and maybe daytime, but it's the difference at nighttime. He hit a home run to right center against Garbage yesterday afternoon on a hanging breaking ball. See that score in the backdrop there? It showed Boston 9, New York 8. Is that what that is in the bottom of the 10th?
10th inning, yeah. The Red Sox just went ahead on a Victorino single.
Victorino.
How good has he been?
Maybe the best thing that happened to him, it hurt his left hamstring. He can't switch hit. He's exclusively hitting from the right. At least he has, or was for a while. So that's, if the Red Sox win that game, that's kind of their season. Have a big lead, lose it, tie it late, and then come back and win an extra innings.
You're probably right. One and one to Sogard, who struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. Broken bat toward Wallace at 3rd, and that's out number 2. So Sogard, that ball was running away from him, and it was like an off-speed pitch again.
Now batting the catcher.
So with 2 outs, Vogt will hit.
Steven Vogt.
Vogt had one of the hardest hit balls by an A tonight. In the 3rd inning, he lined out to center. And the first pitch from Peacock in for a strike. So Peacock's last start, he gave up 5 earned runs and 7 hits and 4 walks in 4 2/3 innings. Different story tonight.
But his curveball has been working great. But the one thing he did say, and not surprised to see him now throw a couple of good changeups in this inning, he said the changeup he kind of lost in his last start. He threw it early, but was not as effective, and wanted to kind of bring it back.
I would think for a young pitcher, if a pitch isn't there early in the game, it's probably hard for him to just be patient and go back to it later in the game.
Exactly.
Probably hard for any pitcher.
That's the 2 starts against the A's in April, the early part of April, but as we mentioned, he didn't have that curve, but just did not get as much support.
So Vogt thought he fouled it. He did not, and that is strikeout number 7 for Brad Peacock. who were the last Astros players to hit 30 home runs in a season. It was back in 2007. It was Lance Berkman. We just saw him. And Carlos Lee. Carlos Lee had some big seasons with the Astros.
Where is he now?
I don't think he's playing anymore. He was with the Marlins last year, wasn't he?
He had a big ranch, I think, in Houston. That's one of the reasons he wanted to go there. Signed as a free agent and had some big home runs. So did Jeff Bagwell. The Killer Bees, Berkman, Biggio, and Bagwell.
The good times for the Astros.
They're all still doing some things for the Astros. We saw Craig Biggio the last time the A's were in Houston. Disappointed he wasn't elected into Cooperstown for this past summer, but he will be in the near future, probably next year.
Well, the Astros' best run, I remember they were an expansion team in 1962, but from 1997 to 2005, a stretch of 9 years, they made the postseason 6 times. So that was kind of their heyday, but just the one World Series appearance, and that was in 2005.
Scrap Iron, who is now with the A's, Phil Garner, was brought back to manage and team the World Series. Sure we'll be seeing Phil down in Arlington, Texas next weekend.
Well, Gray, first 2 innings not good, but since then he's been terrific. 1-2 now to Carter, who has an RBI single, and he has a strikeout. The Yankees are batting in the bottom of the 10th inning. The Red Sox with a 9-8 lead. Koji Uehara is in for the Red Sox. He's been very good for Boston. Tap toward Donaldson, who charges, throws on the run, and that's out number 1.
Hey, Uehara bought about the 4th closer the Red Sox have used, and he's probably been the best.
Yeah, no question.
Might have found a home. So we saw him here and pitched well.
Now batting, number 59.
Rangers might still like to have him too. You know, I was watching in between innings. Stephen Vogt made the last out, and Nate's great. Nate Fryman, as he usually does, either catches a ceremonial first pitch when he doesn't play or warms up the pitchers in between innings. I think the skipper Bob Mill has found an emergency catch if he needs it.
Sure.
Because Nate looks good. Of course, he went to the Eric Wedge School of Catching. And Eric was in Boston, in the Boston area. So Nate was about 8, but he looks good behind the plate. Big, tall man with a low target, which is always good for a catcher. This young man, very powerful.
Yeah.
You can see just the 3 home runs at low batting average, but in due time, given the opportunity to play on a regular basis, he might hit some long ones.
It is a powerful swing from Mark Krause. We saw that down in Houston.
A cutter that he tried to hold up, but fortunately there was an appeal to third. That's when a catcher has to appeal immediately, not wait.
Took that one, and it's in for strike 2-2. The Rays have come back, scored a couple runs in the top of the 3rd. Angels 3, Rays 2. Curve and a good one. And that's strikeout number 6 for Sonny Gray.
Even if you aren't an A's season ticket holder, you can still get 2013 postseason rights. Just place a deposit on a 2014 A's ticket plan and secure your place in line for 2013 playoff tickets. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or go to oaklandathletics.com/deposit. That might be one of the best deposits you could ever make. 2014 season ticket plan and secure your rights for this year's postseason. That is, if you're not already a season ticket holder. You just have to You know, Cap, everybody knew coming in after the Tigers, the Rays, and the Rangers that the Astros, you know, everybody wants to look at the schedule and look at the teams, but this game tonight is not one in which the A's thought they just were going to show up and win.
Nope.
They just had a couple of bad innings. Otherwise, it's a very good pitching matchup.
So 3 up, 3 down inning for Gray. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Astros 3, the A's nothing. Like most home runs in a season, batting leadoff. Coco Crisp, 18 leadoff home runs this year. Of course, all 18. Coco, he's in the lineup. He's going to be batting leadoff.
Yep.
Ricky Henderson had 28 home runs from the leadoff spot in 1990.
Center fielder, number 4, Coco.
Well, with Ricky, if he didn't hit a home run, you walked him, it was a double. Because he could steal second, maybe third. I always thought, and really Coco is kind of in the same category. Great leadoff hitters, great speed. Ricky hardly ever bunted. I think one time he attempted to bunt, the ball came up, hit him in the face, and just said, enough is that. We have not seen Coco bunt a lot. You know, occasionally he'll push a ball down the third base line. They will always play him in, which Wallace is doing now. I think back to the Garza game, the Rangers, that he bunted in the first inning and got on and sacrificed to second, and Lowry scored him, but few and far between.
1-1 to Crisp, who has grounded out in double tonight. Pitch count, which is something to keep an eye on here, 68 for Peacock, so his pitch count is okay. Driven to center. Barnes goes back. He's under it. And that's out number 1. So like you were saying, Ray, about the Astros, A's have played great so far. In this case, you're right, a couple bad innings. And Brad Peacock's got really good stuff tonight.
And this is quality pitches. His curveball has been spectacular.
I mean, he has not made a whole lot of bad pitches tonight.
Seth Smith twice has seen 2-strike curveballs that he's taken both of them for strikes. And he's not afraid to throw the curveball anytime.
Eric Sogard found that out.
And while you, as an offense, the A's hoping you'd like to try to work the counts, get the starting pitcher out. Peacock is not doing it because the pitch count is so low.
Right field line, foul territory, and it drops. VR is going to trot in, and he may be giving his fellow position players a little break, which is not a bad move.
That's a very good move, because usually you want to give the pitcher the breather, but he's thinking of his other guys. That's pretty good. Thanks, guys.
He had 3 guys that ran a long ways for that ball.
And so far, Altuve had to check the scoreboard to recheck the count.
Ball's hit hard, but right at the second baseman. And Altuve has it. And that's out number 2. So 6 in a row retired by Brad Peacock. 9 of the last 10.
Number 8.
So Lowry hits. Lowry's hit a fly ball to center field, and he has popped to second. First pitch is a fastball that's low at 94 miles an hour. So the Red Sox won that game 9-8 at Yankee Stadium. So the Yankees, with that loss, are now 9 back of the Red Sox. A line drive, shift on. Altuve has it. Throws to first, side. Retired. 7 in a row retired by Peacock, and we're headed to the 7th. Still 3-0 Astros. Jonathan VR steals home, and quite frankly, Ray,
he didn't have to slide.
He does it easily.
How about this? That's a straight. I mean, he was halfway down the line, and it's perfect for a left-handed pitcher when you have that kind of a speed at third base.
First Astros rookie to steal home since Craig Biggio did it in 1989. And listen, we don't see a whole lot of steals of home.
No. that was
too easy.
Well, what we hear are the first and third steal of home, where throw goes to second and the runner from third steals or scores. But I mean,
we'll call that the old-fashioned steal.
Yes,
the Rod Carew steal.
Yeah. Well, and that's a left-hander pitching out of the stretch with his back to the runner. Billy Martin, of course, back in the Billy Ball era, would have that play, especially with the runner first and third. He'd have the runner first get picked off. The left-hander said, well, I'm picking him off. And
so getting a run down?
Yeah, or just as soon as he threw to first, the runner from third scored.
Good curveball. 0-2 to L.J. Hose, who has singled and scored. That was in the second inning. And then he grounded out to short in the fourth. Setting up outside, and the pitch is in the dirt. Vogt bails out. Can't blame him.
Kev, you mentioned HOU's coming over from the Orioles at the Bud Norris trade, and there's a case of a young man probably was not going to have a chance to advance in the Orioles outfield. Look at who was out, Adams, or who am I thinking in center field?
Jones,
Adam
Markakis.
Jones, and then Markakis, and you know their outfield is just. And so for a young player to be a part of a trade where a team wants to acquire a veteran pitcher, in the case of the Orioles wanting Bud Norris, they're willing to give up. I mean, this is great for HOU to get a chance to come to the big leagues and play.
And he takes strike 3. 7th strikeout for Sonny Gray.
Since the second inning, he's given up 1 hit. That was a crow base hit up the middle.
Number 44.
CNI base hit. Curveball kind of backed up a little bit, but stayed in the inner part of the plate.
So 14 out of 15 retired for Sonny Gray. And there's a strike to Matt Pagnazzi. So the first 2 innings were up. 6 hits allowed in the first 2 innings. Good curve, called a strike, 0-2. Pagnazzi has singled and scored and grounded out. Lowry charges. He's got it. That's out number 2. Well, authentic Raider fans, turn to Comcast Sportsnet. In-depth coverage every day and online. Plus the authentic post-game show. The team is Raiders post-game live. The authentic home of the Raiders is Comcast Sportsnet. So 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. VR, the leadoff hitter, bounces one foul.
12 ground ball outs tonight for Sonny Gray. Has not had an out in the air tonight. Matter of fact, except for the base hits, the outfielders have not been busy with regard to fly ball outs anyway, which is always good for a pitcher. You can't give up many home runs if you keep the ball on the ground. This shows a good curveball, starting to get the ball down. First 2 innings, he had 2 outs on the ground, but since then, an abundance of them, and continues to throw strikes. And at the last, well, starting with the 4th inning, the 3rd inning actually, 7-7, 12-11, and now this inning.
95 miles an hour.
See, he wasn't hitting that early. It's about 90. And whether there's a little movement, intentional, but the fastball topped out about 90 in the first inning.
VR is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and struck out. And this one hit off the plate. Gray throws. Got him.
Wow.
And VR slams his helmet down. Super play by Gray and Barton on the other end. Check it out.
Sportsnet California is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports, and by Toyota. Do the math and save at your local Toyota dealer.
So it's a 3-0 game. Astros leading. Sonny Gray, tough first 2 innings. He's been great since then, but Brad Peacock has been great the whole game. Ace will have 3 more shots against Peacock and possibly the Astros bullpen, trailing 3-0.
The way his pitch count is, it may be Peacock through the end unless the A's can get to it.
Moss, Cespedes, Smith. Moss has struck out twice, both times swinging.
Fastball the first at bat, curveball and a check swing the second. 0-2.
Swing and a miss, 94 miles an hour, so 2-0. Here it comes fastball.
Well, if scouts are watching, they're probably saying for Brandon Moss, typical left-handed hitter, likes the low fastball as he has swung through some elevated fastballs tonight.
This one is foul.
One of your best defensive plays by a pitcher, because Sonny Gray didn't set up. He just grabbed the ball flat-footed through to the stretching Derek Barton, and right foot slipped a little, and they are jumping to the bag, which is always ill-advised, but Derek Barton stretching at first and do the splits better than anybody at first base. But a great play by Sonny Gray to get off the mound as quickly as he did.
Curve, not close. Well, 7 in a row retired by Brad Peacock. 7 in a row retired by Sonny Gray as well. The 3-2 pitch is fouled off Pagnazzi, the catcher.
Sonny Gray breaks a little bit towards first base, then had to recover. But look at the. I mean, he knew that if he decided to take a little crow hop to get something behind it, he was not going to be able to throw out the speedy VR, so he just grabbed the ball and threw flat-footed, and that's about a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to first.
Shift is on for Moss, and a 3-2 curveball misses badly, and the A's have a leadoff base runner.
Well, I hope that ends up hurting Brad Peacock, because he just threw a mid-90s fastball that Brandon Moss fouled off the catcher's mask, and came back with a curveball, which he's had a very good curveball tonight, but as that was 80-plus pitches, a little bit different. So the A's just looking for something to get going. I guess by my count, that is the first leadoff hitter to get on base for the A's.
So for the first time, action in the bullpen. Kevin Chapman, a left-hander, gets up for the Stros.
Oh, this is not a roll.
No, we don't want to see that guy unless it's the World Series.
That's right. Take your chances in the World Series.
First pitch to Cespedes. Hit high, foul, and into the seats. Angels 6, the Rays 2, bottom of the 4th inning. David Price still in the game, but at least based on the score, getting knocked around a little bit. Cowgill had a bases loaded double for the Angels. Grant Green has knocked in a run in that game with an RBI ground. Stride. Cespedes could not pull the trigger, and it's 0-2. Astros bullpen has not been good. Highest ERA in the majors. And they've probably had to throw too many innings, and they've had a lot of changeover in that bullpen as well. To pitch, curveball. Cespedes swings and misses, and he strikes out for the second time. So that is 8 strikeouts now for Peacock.
Not after missing the 3-2 curveball outside, followed through this one perfectly. Cespedes just too far out in front. And there's times when you like to see a hitter protect a little bit more with a couple of strikes. Not the type of swing that we just saw, but also seeing a lot of hits. 2 strikes from Cespedes.
So here's Seth Smith, who has struck out twice, once looking, actually both times looking. Rips that one foul. Just 4 base runners tonight for the A's off of Peacock. Curve. Missed his outside.
A lot of times a pitcher will not throw the 12-6 curveball because it's a pitch a lot of hitters won't even consider swinging at. Think of Barry Zito, seeing so many years with him with a great 12-6 curveball. Hitters would never swing at it, and at least with the one that Peacock throws, he throws it hard enough, Angela Sonny Gray, that hitters can commit, end up swinging at a bad pitch because it is thrown hard. Speaking of Barry, there he is. Tommy, that's it. Is Tommy any good or what?
He got sick of his game tonight. He shot over the Bay Bridge and thought he'd watch some of his old team. Both the Giants and the A's at home at the same time, which happens 2-3 times a year, but not very often. One-two pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 9. Well, he is snapping that thing off, isn't he, Ray?
Well, 3 times in a row now that Seth Smith has struck out on this curveball. This one was swung at. But I'd say that the A's will think about this game and just realize the next time they face Peacock, if he throws the same type of curveball, it's going to be a tough night. Moss struck out on the curveball. Cespedes a curveball. Smith 3 times with the curveball. Sogard and Vogt each 1 time with the curveball. First 3 hitters for the A's have not struck out.
Barton lays off the curveball there. Barton has hit a pair of fly balls to center field, so he's 0 for 2.
By the way, Kip, as our Emmy award-winning director Tommy Adza said, great camera crew that found Barry Zito, which we know that. But, got the director, but definitely a great camera crew throughout the stadium, the Coliseum, with cameras to find, in this case, Barry Zito, a Zito jersey. Yeah. A white Oakland A's Zito jersey, looked like too.
And now 2-0 to Barton, a couple of off-speed pitches.
Well, if there's that could over the top might be Zito under it.
I'm guessing number 75.
And Zito's a short name. It's only 4 letters, so that could have been hit under the hood.
Center field hit pretty well. Barnes going back. He's got it. Side retired. Leadoff walk. The A's do nothing with it. It is the 7th inning stretch at the Coliseum. Astros 3, Athletics nothing. Cafe celebrating 40 years of bringing it to the plate. Stop by Erickson. Enter to win 40 years of free sandwiches with character. 3-0. The Astros lead the A's. It is the 8th inning. Both starting pitchers still in the game, and both starting pitchers throwing the ball extremely well. Altuve, Crow, and Wallace for the Astros here in the 8th.
He's not going anywhere. Right, Peacock will be going back out, I would assume, for the 8th. 92 pitches, so still well within range. And I think Derek Barton yesterday, a big home run against Yu Darvish to right center. Tonight's not a good night to hit the ball in the air.
No, that's a good call.
Because it's not good. Derek Barton has hit 2 very hard, center and left center, but I think the last one probably carried better than the one I thought hit. I think we both thought was hit better in the first at bat by Derek Barton, but well, it's just not carrying to center field or any place tonight in the air.
So 1 out. Trevor Crow, a double, a ground out, and a single. He has scored a run and he has stolen a base.
First fly ball out. Sonny Gray. Maybe that's why Altuve was upset.
That's right.
Why
do I have to be the guy?
Yeah, been hit the ball hard on the ground. He finally gets one in the air and it doesn't go anywhere.
Good pitch. 1-1 to Trevor Crow with Wallace in the on deck circle. 88 pitches for Gray. That one rolled foul. The Royals kept their slim playoff hopes alive today, beating the Mariners 7-6 in 13 innings. The Royals were 1 out away from playing just 9 innings. Raul Ibanez homered with 2 outs in the 9th inning to tie the game at 6. Then Mike Moustakas hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 13th. So the Royals 7, the Mariners 6.
Raul Ibanez now with the Mariners, a former Royal. With the Mariners, went back to Kansas City, had some great years, went back to Seattle as a free agent.
Trevor Crow is retired, so that is out number 2 in the 8th inning. So 9 in a row retired by Sonny Gray.
Now batting, number 29, Brett Wallace.
Now the Royals, after that win, they will host the Tigers this weekend. Kansas City 8 games behind Detroit after their win. So they are probably running out of time. In fact, they are running out of time for the division. Still hanging around on the back end of the wild card.
And that's a good point, because if you're playing the best team in your division and you don't have a chance to overtake the best team in the division for the lead, you don't want to play them because they're pretty good.
Well, that's true. You're right.
You know, and if
you're 2 back, then you want to play them. If you're 7 or 8. But you know, if you're the Royals, Ray, whatever happens, they're having a pretty good year. They're in the conversation in September. I think it can only help them going ahead into next year.
Except that possibly some disappointment, because they might have thought they had a chance, especially getting James Shields in the offseason, and they made some trades and made some deals. And I know Ned Yost had talked about 13 or 14 being the year or years in which the Royals would be competitive, and maybe this year advanced a little bit more than they thought.
I guess it's probably, if you think about it from their standpoint, a pretty good year this year, maybe a little disappointment, but next year, to continue building, they probably need to seriously contend next year.
Exactly.
And I mean, have a legitimate chance to get to the postseason. Donaldson hustling over, and Donaldson makes the catch. Side retired. 10 in a row retired by Sonny Gray. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Still 3-0 Astros. Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. First inning, make it the second inning after a 1-0 lead. That hit drove in a run. The error by Cespedes let another run come in. That made it 3-0. And that is all the runs so far. And Sonny Gray and Brad Peacock have hooked up. And these two young right-handers have been terrific. Gray with 7 strikeouts. Peacock with 9 strikeouts. And it is a 3-0 game. So bottom of the 8th, Sogard to lead it off. Peacock with 92 pitches. And Sogard, first pitch swinging, rips one to right, and that's going to go to the wall. And it kicks away from HOU, and Sogard is going to have a stand-up triple to lead off the bottom of the 8th.
Nobody better than Eric Sogard jumping on first pitch fastballs. Twice tonight he's fallen behind with first pitch strikes, but Peacock fastball first pitch, and Sogard, as we have seen him do. And there's the slip by HOU as he was going after the ball, maybe a little dew on the grass. Planted, could not keep his feet, and the ball just kept carrying away from him. So the A's lead off walk last inning. He got the next 3. And as soon as the ball was down in the right field, the bullpen got busy.
So 3-7-0 for the Astros. 0-4-1 now for the Athletics as they pick up their 4th hit. So here is Vogt, followed by Crisp and then Donaldson. De Leon and Chapman start to throw. Vogt has lined out and struck out. First pitch is in for a strike.
Chili Davis in one season drove in over 100 runs without one sacrifice fly. I think right now the A's, while they'd like to score the run, they'd like to get a hit to do it.
Fastball is outside. See, Marwin Gonzalez is the new third baseman. He's playing about his normal spot, maybe a little bit to the left. VR near second base, and Altuve into shallow right field. Missed again, and now it's 2-1. "96 pitches for Brad Peacock. And that one's driven to right center. Hit well. Barnes is back. At the wall is the right fielder Hose, and it's off the wall. And Vogt's going to have an RBI double, and it's 3-1.
That ball's a home run in the daytime. He hits a triple earlier in the homestand. His first major league triple. A ball that hit high off the wall. This ball was crushed. Low fastball. Tell me left-hand hitters aren't good low ball hitters. Vogt on the 2-1 crushed it to right center. This at our vantage point did not look like anybody's going to get to it. And Hose up, but ball high off the wall. And Barnes backing him up. So Stephen Vogt with a long double. So another runner in scoring position. So Vogt didn't get the sac fly. He got the hit to bring him in. And Bo Porter is called time.
So now it's the top of the order for the A's with a run in, a triple and a double.
And Bo Porter, of course, looking at the matchups and numbers. If he takes out Peacock, he's saying, yeah, I'm okay, Skip. Leave me in. Didn't work. So they want to turn Coco around. And that's what I was talking about. You see so often where a manager with Coco, a switch hitter, would turn him around to bat right-handed. And I've always thought that's not sometimes a great move because Coco is a very good right-handed hitter.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and spot experts. Comcast Sportsnet California's Authentic Fan Fridays at the Coliseum. Tomorrow, get a ticket in our value deck behind home plate, an authentic A's flag, a cheer card, and a $6 food and drink voucher, all for one great price. The best deal in Bay Area baseball is Comcast Sportsnet's Authentic Fan Friday. Log on to csncalifornia.com for details. So the A's finally break through against Brad Peacock, and now he's just going to have to sit and watch. But he was very good tonight. 9 strikeouts.
1 walk, 9 strikeouts. And you know the good news for the A's? Chapman doesn't throw a curveball. Throws a slider and a fastball, and that's pretty much it. Good fastball, mid-90s. And Coco, of course, knows that. Will he jump on the first one and drive it to left field?
First pitch in for a strike. Coco,
that's a pretty good one.
The breakdown this year, as a left-handed hitter, he's hitting .292. As a right-handed hitter, .205. So that may have been what Bo Porter was looking at, but We've seen this happen a lot in the last couple of years.
Yes, we have.
And we've seen it, quite frankly, we've seen Coco spoil that strategy a lot. 15th appearance for Kevin Chapman. So he's ahead of Crisp 0-2 with Donaldson in the on-deck circle. Hard breaking ball, and it's in the dirt.
Well, he's listed as a sinker slider pitcher. 2 of 4 seam fastball slider, but some of the break on his breaking pitch has been more of a curveball, at least the slurve in between a slider and a curveball. Good. Coco on a productive out would be good. Still want to try to keep the inning going with a hit. Vogt did it.
And that one missed outside. 2-2.
Coco, if his approach is a stride, probably swings and misses. It had the plate, had to be low, but that was on the plate. Maybe the angle. Mr. Reppinger, Mark Reppinger, did not like it.
And that one, Coco, little emergency swing, and he's going to see another pitch.
Derek Holland, as Coco is hitting from the right side, down the line. That was Monday, and you know what happened there. The ball hit the foul pole right at the bottom, right above the fence. Ron Washington would admit later that what he saw was the ball going foul. He did not see the ball hit the foul pole. As low as it was at the top of the wall, but it turned out to be a home run. Wouldn't mind the same thing right now.
And Coco chased it. Ball's in the dirt. Throw to first, and that is where the out is recorded. So it's a strikeout, and that is the first out.
Well, again, he threw it hard, and although in the dirt, nice block again by the catcher Pagnosi, who's done a very good job tonight blocking on the curveballs thrown by Peacock. And same for this breaking ball from the lefty.
Well, this is the inning that has been a nightmare for the Astros. They've given up 104 eighth-inning runs this year, and pitching coach is going to head out to the mound. Lowry, a switch hitter, is next.
Dennis Martinez, El Perfecto, the bullpen coach for the Astros. Probably leaving Chapman in because of Lowry and the switch hitter and the on-deck seat. Donaldson got a breaking ball from the left-hander yesterday into his wheelhouse and crushed it down the left field line.
First pitch is bounced up the middle. Altuve has it behind second base, throws, and Carter digs it out. So Donaldson goes after the first pitch. He grounds out. Vogt to third, but now 2 outs.
See where Altuve is playing. He's able to get to the ball easily. And his throw just a little bit to the right, but there's Carter. Able to make the play at first base. Looked like he threw him a cutter.
So now Lowry will have a shot to get Vogt home. That's a big run to get, especially when Vogt was at second with nobody out. First pitch, bunted. Chapman off the mound, and he's not going to be able to make the play. but Vogt has to stay at third. How about that? The ball checked out. It had a little English to it, and that made it a much more difficult play for Chapman.
You know, if Vogt had continued running, he might have run into an out. Because
I think he did the right thing.
I think so, too, because you watch when Chapman comes off, he bobbles the ball initially, but it looked like the ball was checking up towards the foul line. And if that had been the case, all he had to do is make a couple of steps, and Vogt would have been out. And maybe the fact that Vogt was coming down the line, Chapman had no intention of throwing out Lowry at first. He just had his mind completely on Vogt. And if nothing else, he sent Vogt back to third.
So Fryman's going to pinch hit for Moss.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen, for the Athletics. Batting for Brandon Moss, number 7, Nate Fryman.
Well, the right-hander's coming in, so who's going to pinch hit for Fryman?
Well, Bo Porter's got a right-hander that's ready. De Leon. So it's like Fryman's now going back, and Callaspo's coming out. Cache Creek Casino Resort. Cache Creek's Challenger Slot Tournaments. Free entry daily from 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. Visit cachecreek.com for details. So the A's have a run in, and they have the tying runs on the base pass. First and third with 2 outs. So Callaspo is going to hit for Fryman. Fryman was announced as the pinch hitter for Moss.
And another hard throw out of the Astros bullpen. But at least the Callaspo being a switch hitter. Fryman for Moss and switch hitter. So Callaspo, it's up to him. Moves are being made.
So Jorge De Leon, the right-hander. His first pitch, and that's a strike on the outside corner to Callaspo. De Leon has been up and down a couple times for the Astros. Just called back up as a September call-up. 12 saves in the minor leagues this year. Comes in a tough spot in the 8th inning.
Well, Pagnozzi, another block ball, though not that far in front, but does such a good job. And the fact that Vogt is at third, just wonder as far as a pitcher what type of pitches he will throw. And will he try to keep the ball up instead of spinning on his catcher to block the ball?
Caiaspo, left side foul. Well into the seats. So Caiaspo behind in the count 1-2. Caiaspo, a .281 hitter with the Athletics.
I would think that De Leon is going to keep the ball away from him, considering where his left fielder Crow is playing. As the two starting pitchers, looks like Sonny Gray is also going to be departing.
1-2 pitch is tapped out in front. De Leon throws home, and they called him safe. They called him safe, and Vogt scores, and it's 3-2, and Bo Porter sprints out of the dugout. And they throw Bo Porter out. So a little excitement here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Just a little tapper out in front of home plate, and De Leon, really, that was probably the only play he had.
And, you know, kind of just looking at it without, we'll see a replay. Caiaspo's going to be pinch run for, but it looked like the throw was up a little bit high, and Pagnozzi caught it, and Vogt coming down the line. There's a slight hesitation.
Your attention, please.
And the ball was up.
For the Athletics.
And
running for Caiaspo.
You know, that's very similar to the play in which Vogt was a part of it at home plate, where the throw was high. And looking at that one, looks like he got it right. Checked this high throw, the tag, foot's on the plate, got him on the hip. So really, it was a late slide by Vogt, but it looked like on that play he got him in. The foot got on the plate at the time in which the tag was applied. But you're right, Cut. He didn't have a chance to throw out Caiaspo first. If he had done that, he might have thrown them all down the line.
Well, Chris Young is the pinch runner, and we're going to have another right-handed pitcher come in.
Well, watch the tag. The throw is high, and right there you figure he's out. But as the tag is applied, look at the foot and where he's tagged here. Just making the tag, and the foot's on the plate. So really, the tag was applied after the foot by Vogt was on the plate.
So we'll be back. A's still batting. Now they get a chance to tie it.
Ladies and gentlemen, now pitching for Houston.
That's right.
Maybe 60 feet, and it's kept the inning going.
And again, watch the left foot. And Vogt actually was telling his teammates that looked like his foot got on the plate before the tag was applied by Pagnozzi. And you know, Kai, as much as Bo Porter was livid coming out of the dugout because his view that he saw with it just happening, thought been tagged out, just like Polk thought he had tagged out the runner earlier in the homestand. But Hayes might as well keep it going, because another pitcher, Eduardo Perez, the bench coach, making the pitching change, considering that his manager had been ejected.
And now it's Josh Fields. First and second. I believe I said first and third. The runners are at first and second. So here's Fields. So that play on Callaspo, fielder's choice, RBI. Cespedes with a single and a couple of strikeouts.
Chris Young with speed, pinch running at first for Callaspo. So Hayes could find a way to hit a ball in the gap.
1-1 now to Cespedes.
Fields throws hard, mid-90s fastball.
They are Lowry and Young.
His Lions finish. Peacock 2-1. He can win it, can't lose it.
One pitch. Curveball bounced toward third. Marvin Gonzalez grabs it, steps on the bag, side retired, but an eventful inning when it's all said and done. The A's scored twice. It's 3-2 after 8. Well, the night started out good, and it's been a good ballgame, entertaining. 3-2, top of the ninth inning.
Might explain that little reach, that you're lifting the arms up and the guys with the autographs, and you met them, huh?
Yeah. Two great A's fans, Anthony and Angelo. We see them all the time. Good fans. They sit down the left field line, and I got to meet them tonight. I said, well, you guys are awesome. And they said, who are you? I said, well, I'm one of the A's announcers. Korak? Fosse? I said, no, Kuiper. Good guys.
Yeah, they knew who you were. Got that big, you know, I told you that somebody's going to get your autograph, and they did.
Exactly. Poor guys.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Cook comes in. Popped up foul on the count 1-2 to Carter. It'll be followed by Krause and Barnes. It's now a 3-2 game, and be careful, young man, don't get hurt. A very eventful bottom of the 8th inning. The A's scored 2.
Astros used 4 pitchers, counting the starter. Ryan Cook trying to keep it at a 1-run deficit.
Good pitch on a slider, and Carter strikes out for the second time, and that's out number 1.
Well, the big run right now is the unearned run in the second inning. Good hard slider thrown by Ryan Cook, throwing a changeup, hard slider. And Chris Carter,
Now batting, number 59.
no chance on that one.
So I got a question for you, Ray.
Yes, sir.
Could Bob Melvin have done the pinch hit for Moss with Fryman and then Callaspo and then Young as a pinch runner without expanded rosters? Could he have done that? I mean, he could have, but I'm saying, would it be more difficult to do because you used 3 players for 1 spot?
And he used 3 players who had been here.
Yeah,
but you're
yeah,
right,
exactly.
because by using those 3, at least he has other players available that he could use if he has to.
Probably couldn't do it in a National League park.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That one is ripped down the right field line, and it is foul.
It's that power swing we talked about. Mr. Krause. Fastball location outside, fastball location middle of the plate. Danger zone sounded great. Fortunately, somebody yelled and get fouled. It did. Also heard some other choice words before that, but the get foul was the good part because it did.
So 1-1 the count to Krause, who's 0 for 3. He struck out a couple of times. Barnes to follow. Also in the bottom of the 8th, Bo Porter was kicked out of the game in that very close play at the plate.
Well, Bose was a football player, and he came shooting out of the dugout like he was going for somebody to just want to pass because he was out lightning quick. And, you know, a reasonable argument because when it first happened, it looked like that Magnolzi had tagged. Of course, the vote arrived at the same time. So Roberto Perez, his bench coach, takes over the managerial duties. But it's amazing when you see something happen in real time, and then you see the replays. The manager does not see those when the play occurs, and Porter made the decision at the time, right decision, but a close play. It looked like Mark Rippinger, the home plate umpire, got it correct.
And a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts by Cook on the top of the 9th.
When I got this fastball where he wanted it, outside, although a little bit high, but at least got it on the outside part of the plate.
Now batting, number 2,
Krause
Brandon Barnes.
with the uppercut, no contact.
So 2 outs for Barnes. Krause 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And swing and a miss. Seth Smith, he's going to lead things off in the 9th inning. It'll be Smith, Barton, and Sogard. Those are your 3 scheduled hitters. And that one's hit hard into center field, and that's a base hit for Barnes. So hit number 8 for the Astros. It's a 2-out single.
Powerful hitter, and especially with the fastball down the middle for Barnes.
Now batting, number 28, L.J. HOU.
So here's L.J. Hose. Barnes has 10 steals. So you're saying, well, that's not bad, right? But he's been thrown out 10 times, which is not good.
But considering there are 2 outs, he still might try.
Close play. Nobody warming up in the bullpen, so Josh Fields looks like he's going to get the bottom of the ninth.
Remember, Jose Veras is now for the Tigers, the former closer.
Well, last time the Astros were here, Ray, remember?
Yes.
Jen Lowe came in, and he got a save in one of the games.
Yes, he did. And was very impressive. He has 2 in the season. Lyles, Fields, Bedard, Chapman.
Spreading those saves out.
Well, that's why this inning's big, to keep it where it is and at least give the A's a chance for a 1-run somehow. This allows Bob Miller to do so many things. And as Seth Smith leads off, remember Jamal Weeks is with the club now. Also Michael Choice, a couple of guys with speed. And you'd like to get a base runner on and maybe utilize some of the speed the A's have with the September call-ups. And there they are. Matter of fact, Jamal is tightening up his shoelaces right now. Getting ready.
Putting the speed burners on.
That's right. He's got them. Just give him the opportunity. Somebody get on.
That's another close play at first. Angels still leading the Rays 6-2. That game now in the 7th inning. I don't think the Rays are having all that much fun on their West Coast swing. No. 1-1 pitch. Shallow right. And that'll do it. And as Young takes care of it. So bottom of the ninth coming up, folks. It's a 3-2 game. And the Astros trying to hold off the Athletics.
Over. No first or second inning, because after the first and second innings, Sonny Gray settled down and was a spectacular pitcher for the next 6. He'd go 8 innings. Fastball was great. Curveball was tremendous. And he also mixed in a few changeups. But the curveball and fastball plus a great defensive play. And he got a fast runner on a remarkable play. And the numbers for Sonny Gray tonight, they were good. All good. 7 strikeouts, just 1 walk, 14 ground ball outs. Best thing for him now would be a no decision.
So Josh Fields got the final out in the 8th. And his first pitch to Smith is inside. Smith, Barton, Sogard. So 3 left-handed hitters against Fields. pitch is low, 2-0. He's getting both of their runs in the 8th inning. A pitch is sliced foul up over the A's bullpen. It's been Peacock, then Chapman got a couple of outs, gave up a hit in the 8th. De Leon faced the one hitter, and that was that fielder's choice when the run scored. And then Fields got Cespedes with 2 on to end the 8th inning. And now 2-2.
There's ball 3. But Seth Smith, 3 strikeouts tonight. Coco Crisp would hit 4th if somebody can get on base. Make it 5th. As Smith is the 6th place hitter.
So 2-2 to Smith. That one dribbled foul as a fastball got in on Smith. Well, tomorrow night it'll be A.J. Griffin and Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel, the left-hander. Our coverage starts at 6:30 with A's pregame live. Again, that's tomorrow night. In the dirt.
Great take. Great take for Seth Smith, who's been subjected to curveballs by Brad Peacock tonight. 3 strikeouts, all with curveballs, but this hard curve by Fields. Able to stop his swing. No chance for an appeal. Great block by Pagnosi, but it is a walk.
So a full count to Smith. That one's bounced fair. Takes a big hop to Carter, and that ball was hit hard right on the line, and that's out number 1. So it was a fastball, and Smith hit it hard, but he's retired.
Now that's guarded the line against no extra base hits, and this time it worked out. So many times you see the ball goes to the right of the first baseman, left of the third baseman when they're guarding the line. But this time Seth Smith got out in front of a fastball, topped it, pulled it, and right on the line.
You know what would have been nice there, Ray? The ball would have hit the bag.
You're right.
And who knows where the ball would have went.
That's right.
And it almost did. So 1 out for Barton.
But Derek has hit 2 line drives, 2 hard hit balls. What a blooper, broken bat. Yep. Again, same place. 4 to straightaway center.
And Barnes has it for out number 2. So it's up to Sogard, who kind of the master at keeping innings going. So that's what he absolutely has to do here. Vogt is the on-deck hitter.
Second baseman, number 28, Eric Sogard.
So Sogard, a strikeout, a ground out, and then he tripled and scored in the 8th inning. So he got that 2-run rally going in the 8th.
Took a first pitch strike, first 2 at bats, but third time when he hit the double, this one was the first one.
First pitch to Sogard is a bit high as Fields tried to change up, and it stayed up.
I think Pagnosi thought he was going to ambush him again.
That's right.
Throw him a fastball like he did last time.
And that one off the catcher, and it hit Mark Ripperger, the umpire, and it got him pretty good. The pitch was a ball, so it's 2-0.
All right, runs on Ignazi off of his glove. He actually thought he got him the mask, got him the right shoulder. Has the chest protector and the shoulder pads, so probably did not affect him. Ignazi saying to Fields, you know, he's probably upset with me. He better throw a strike here down the middle, and maybe Sogard's thinking the same thing. He's going to throw me a strike because he's afraid the umpire's going to get hit again.
Sorry, sir. I'm really sorry.
That's right.
The ball cut. His fastball is usually straight.
Yeah, it ran on him. He didn't know it. Threw a cutter, didn't know it.
Come up with every excuse you can think of. So 2-0. Sogard will be taking one. Who knows? He may take two.
Yeah, I think he'll take at least two. Exactly.
And that one didn't have to be, but it's called a strike. Looked like it was a little bit low.
But it was not a fastball right down the middle. And considering the way Pagnazzi caught it right at the knees, if that.
And that one is in there. Much clearer strike there. So now it's a full count.
But that's good hitting. Good, really smart for Sogard. He knows the A's need a base runner. Bob Melvin hoping for a base runner to extend the inning.
Three-two pitch. Popped up. VR, the shortstop, is under it. He's got it. And that's the ball game. The Houston Astros take game one of this four-game series by a final score of 3-2. So they get terrific pitching from their starter Brad Peacock. He gets the win. Sonny Gray pitched very well. He takes the loss. And the Astros slow down the Athletics, at least tonight. The final score is Astros 3 and the A's 2. So you try to figure out the game of baseball, and if you try to do it, you're wasting your time, because the A's play terrific against some very good opponents, and then the Astros, who obviously struggling, there's no secret there, but for the last 4 games these two teams have played here, Astros have won 3 out of 4. They took 2 out of 3 a month ago, and they played a good ball game tonight. Peacock